Hello everyone, my name is Ankit Kumar and currently I'm pursuing my BTech from NIT Jalandhar. At the same time, I'm a full stack web developer, ML enthusiast, and preparing for SD roles. Basically, in this particular challenge, I'm going to solve each and every question of Striber SD seat in just 48 hours. There is about 190 question, but I will solve about 150 question in just 48 hours. I will solve each and every question on YouTube live. Basically, this is a set of questions provided by Striber Akaraj Vikramaditya. So basically, it is a very good quality of question, and that resembles to the question that is basically asked in interviews. These are all real interview questions that is handpicked by a Striber and provided to us in the form of a Striber STC. So it is one of the very good collection of questions. So we are going to solve each and every question right from the scratch. So we'll try to solve maximum amount of question and let's see if I would be able to complete the challenge or not. So the flow of our session will be in that way. First of all, I will solve array, then all the parts of the array, part 1, part 2, part 3 and all. And then I will solve the question of linked list and I will move in that particular way also. Basically, I will solve question in the sequence it is provided in the sheet. So first of all, I would like to verify if I'm live or not. Part one, part two, part three, and all, and then I will solve the question of linked list, and I will move in that particular way also. Basically, I will solve question in the sequence it is provided in the sheet. So yeah, of course, live is properly working, and let's begin the journey. First of all, let's solve the question. Set matrix 0. It is a medium difficulty level. So if you are solving the question, if I'm solving the question, then for the medium type of question, I we should allocate maximum 40 minutes of time, because if you are solving at the comfort of your home and if you are getting 1 hours 2 hours for a question of medium level, then I think it would not be good for your preparation if you're preparing for FANG or any other PCBs company, any product based companies. So this is the question where we are provided that if any particular element of any particular row or column is 0, then we have to make all the element of that particular column is equal to 0, and all the element of that particular row is equal to 0. For example, in this particular case, this is 0, then we have to make all the element of that column is equal to 0 and all the element of that particular row is equal to 0. So what we can do, we can solve this particular by various approach, but I will try to solve this question by one of the expected approach, or you can say the better approach. It I can say this is the optimum approach, but it will be easy approach. So let's solve the question using this particular approach. So int n. So first of all, find the size of the matrix. Size of the matrix means how many rows are present in this particular matrix. So rows will be equal to matrix size of the matrix, and let's find the number of columns present in the matrix. That will be the number of element present in the row number 0 of the matrix. Now let run a loop. We're doing syntax mistakes. So I think I've done any mistakes. So let's explore what we have done. So if four absolutely fine. So okay, one, two, three bracket. I think one, two, three bracket is there. Yeah. So take care if you are using the if, then don't forget to use the comparator operator, because if you are using the equal to operator, then it is not uh, it would not give the correct answer. So what are the approach our approach in this particular case? If for example, if you encountered any element that is zero, then we will assign all the element of that particular row and that particular column as some unique number. For instance, let's say minus 1001 I do have assigned this particular case. So in this way I do have assigned this has minus 1001, this has minus 1001, this has minus 1000, this has minus 1001. And in next step what we have done, if we have encountered minus 1001, then replace it with 0, then all the element of that particular row and that particular column will get replaced by 0. So in this particular way we can solve this particular question. This is one of the approaches. So we do have solved one question. Now let's move to the next question. So it's a question of Pascal triangle. So I will try to solve this particular question with there can be a lot of approaches. If you're solving with the brute force approaches, then solution can be quite long. If you're solving with the optimized approach, then maybe there can be a long solution or the efficient solution. Depends upon your solution. So I will try to solve this particular question by one of the very easiest method. So let's explore it. Okay. What I will try to do, if n is equal to 0, then what we can do, we can I think the syntax is correct. It's not nums it, but I will make it nums. Nums is actually itself a number. Okay, syntax is absolutely correct. क्या करामाते की है हमने, या देखना तो पड़ेगा। आजकल तो ठीक है, वन से अगर मैं शुरू किया उसके बैक में गए तो उसके बैक से उठाना हमने शुरू किया है इसको, बैक ठीक है। आई नहीं, तुम इफ यू आर again from the back now, then we should back off. I think if you are using it from the back, then syntax will be that funny. I and what I minus 1, I think. Still is not correct. Okay. Mm-hmm. Still there is some ambiguity for the 1 and the last it would be same. 4 I is equal to 1, the answer is the back of not back, okay, this one, and that 1 and 0 take absolutely fine. If we move to 2, then it will be 2 and 1. Answer goes back this one. I think I think I think I think I think I think I should use this. I have already used. Yeah. So our beat is 100%. So what we have did in this particular question, we are supposed to make a partial triangle, and the property of partial triangle is that this this sum of element of next row will be sum of element of the sum of two element of the previous row. And how it would get some, for example, consider there is 2, so it would be the sum of 1 and 1. That means it is present on the index 1, and then it will be the sum of the index 0 and index 1 of the previous row. So what we have done, we have handled the base case. We have solved this particular question with the recursion, because the recursion gives a very simplistic and very optimized solution, as well as in this particular case there is a list line of code, so it will not be required to write a very long code. So if so we are trying to handle the question base cases. So if n is equal to 0, that means the size of the nums is 0, that means the number of row is equal to 0. So in this particular case we have to return a null matrix, null vector. So you have returned a null vector. If the size of a matrix is 1, then we have returned 1, because if the size is 1, then the answer would be 1. But for let's say if we have size that is equal to, in this particular case it is 5, it can be 4 also, then we will call recursion to solve the question. We'll call the recursion to find the solution for n minus 1 rows. So we do have find the solution for n minus 1 rows, but we will find solution for the nth row. So for the nth row, we do have assigned each and every element equal to 1. For example, if nth row is 5, then the number of element in the 5 will be equal to the number of row. Understood? There is 1 element, 2 element, 3 element, 4 element, 5 element. So number of row is number of row is equal to number of what, column in this particular case. So you have to assign each and every element as 1, and try to do the same sequence. We have taken element of I and I minus 1 from the back of the previous rows, and we have added and pushed it to that particular answer array, and at last we have pushed answer array to the small answer array, where we have solution for n minus 1 rows, and we have returned that particular small answer array. So in this particular question, way we can solve this particular question. So now let's move to the next question. We have next permutation. So in this particular question, we are required to find the next permutation. So permutation, what is permutation? Permutation is basically the arrangement of number. So basically, first is permutation. Permutation is basically a arrangement of number. So if you had to have one, two, three, then we can arrange this particular number in one, three, two, three, two, one. So these are all the permutation. The number will be the same, but the arrangement of number would change, and that is known as the permutation of number. I think it's quite obvious and quite clear in this particular case. So let's begin the journey. So this question of permutation can be solved very easily using STL function. We do have one function dedicated for this particular thing also only, that is next permutation, is next greater permutation. So you can use the STL function. Write one line of code and question got finished. Got solved. So equation we do have solved using the STL function that is provided by C++, but I will try to solve this question from the scratch. So how we can solve this question from the scratch? I think we can observe one thing. If we have 1, 2 and 3, then what we have did? We have replaced 3 and 2. Understood? We have 3, 2 and 1. Then what we have did? We have replaced, what we can do, we can replace 3, we have 3, 2 and 1. Then we can replace 3, 1 and 2, then it would be 3, 1, 2. But it is not next permutation. Everything is in what are ascending order. So this is not the correct way. So if you have 1, 1, 5, then all the element is the smallest in front of him. We have regard to find the next. So we do the 1, 5, 1. So. Take arbitrary example 6, 3, 2, 5 something. So if you are required to find the next permutation, so we can replace 5 with 2. 1 stood 6, 3, 2, 6, 5. Then we can replace 6 with that, but is not the feasible one. We can replace what of course. So yeah, we can do in this way. So let's find the size of the vector.
So we have 1, 2, and 3. So this is the smallest number. So we'll put it as the index. Of course, it's correct. So its answer should be 1, 3, and 2. The index is current of I minus 1. Of course, it's correct. And if nums of what I is greater than nums of index, 3 is greater than this one. So we'll swap the value 3 and 2. Okay, correct. I think. I think I'm doing any fundamental mistake only. I'm also trying to do the very same thing. I can assign as -1. Mhm. We are not required to use a break statement. I think the concept is absolutely same, but why it's not working? Question is absolutely same. Absolutely. I think I'm doing any fundamental mistake. I do have solved this particular question just 2 days back, and it's the same approach. Same approach. I'm solving it. So So in this particular question, what we have did, we have just find out the first element that is smaller than that particular element. So we will swap that element with this element, and that smaller element will go to the last. But it should not be at the last. We will reverse the remaining number so that it would give the first greatest number. For example, if we have take example of 6 3 2 6 5 and something, so 2 is smaller as compared to 5 as compared to 6 also. So but we will replace 2 with what, the first number from the last, that is greater to that particular 3. So we have 3 6 3 2 6 5. So we'll replace it 2 with 5, then it would become 5 2 5 6 and 2, and then we will reverse 2 and 6, then it will become 6 3 5 2 6. That will be the greatest number. That's what we have did here. It is very fundamental, and I think it should be clear in everyone's mind as far as the question is concerned. Mine approach was absolutely same, but I think I was doing some syntax mistake anyway. But I will not take care of that because I do have solved this particular questions so many times. So now let's move to the next question. So next question is cadence algorithm. So basically, cadence algorithm is used to find these sub-array sum. So if you're required to find the sum of sub-arrays, the maximum sum of the sub-array, then cadence algorithm is one of the very fundamental and very important algorithm that we can use in order to solve the question. So sub-array, maximum sub-array sum, we are supposed to use cadence algorithm. So this is the cadence algorithm, and you can solve any question with respect to that. So if you are in this particular case, what we have did, we are supposed to find the sum array sum. So then we have make two variables, that is answer and sum. Answer would store the answer of the required question of this particular required answer of this particular question. So first of all, we have stored nums of the first element in the answer and then initialize sum with the zero. With we have run a for loop, and we do have find the sum of each and every element, and answer will be the maximum of the sum. And if sum becomes sometimes less than zero, then we'll make the sum equal to zero, and what is the maximum sum that will return in this particular case. And this is the cadence algorithm that is used to find the maximum subarray sum. So let's move to the next question. Sort colors. So in this particular case, there can be a lot of approach, but I will discuss only two approach. Uh, so we can sort color. That means color means what? Here it is given that we have red, white, and blue, and red corresponds to 0, white corresponds to 1, and blue corresponds to 2. So basically, red means 0, white means 1, and blue means 2. And we have to sort array containing 0, 1, and 2. So one of the very efficient and very easy approach is that use the str function. So yeah, we got solved. Now let's discuss the second approach, because the interviewer may not get satisfied with the STL function because they want to check your the programming skill, not your memorization skill of STL function. So let's try to solve this particular question using the second approach. Second approach I think can be of two pointer approach. So our bid is again 100%. So what we have did, we have make three variables I, mid and j, and we have initialized I as 0, mid as 0 and j as n minus 1. So till now the index, that is j, that we have initialized with the last index, would be greater or equal to the mid, del the loop will run. So in this particular case, what we have did, we have been counted 0, then we have swap inverse of that is the first, that is the initial index and the mid index, and you will increase I and mid both. Similarly, we have done for the one element and for the two element. If you go through the code, then we'll completely understand what we have done. This is very simplistic approach. So now we have a time constant, so we'll move forward. We'll solve the next question. So the next question is best time to buy and sell a stock. So in this particular question, what the questions says, you are given an array price I, where prices are the price of the given stock on the ith day. You want to maximize your profit by choosing a single day to buy one stock and choosing a different day to in the future to sell the stock. Return the maximum profit you can achieve from this transaction. You cannot achieve any profit. Return zero. Okay. So we can initialized answer and answer is equal to 0. Absolutely clear. We'll run a loop. So we can initialize the cost price with the first element only initially. So yeah, this question got solved. So basically what we have did in this particular question, we are supposed to find the profit that we can get by buying and selling a stock. So we are provided a array or the prices of the stock in the form of array. So we are supposed to find the profit. So how you can get the maximum profit? If you choose the less or the minimum uh, stock as a cost price and the maximum price of the stock as a selling price. So in this particular process, what we have did, we have initialized answer with the 0, C as the price of 0 that been the first element, C is the cost price. So we have initialized the cost price in the first element of the provided vector, and on the consecutive loop we have find the profit with respect to the cost price and the selling price, and we have encountered any vector, any number that is even less than our cost price that we have initialized with the first element. So we do have initialized that particular cost price with that particular element. For example, we have initialized firstly a 7 as a cost price, but 1 is even lesser than the 7, so we will choose 1 as a cost price. If the cost price is the raise, then this profit will be the maximum, and we do have find the profit for each and every element, and found the maximum of answer with respect to profit, and return the maximum profit that is in the form of answer. So this is the very efficient approach, very easy approach, and very easy question, but very important question, because this type of this question got asked in so many interviews, ranging from the good companies to the even a startup have also asked this particular question. I do have talked to many friends and they told me about the same. Now let's move. We do have completed section one. Yeah, it consisted six question, one, two, three, four, five, six question. Now let's move to the seventh question. That is rotate matrix. Rotate image. Number of columns is equal to matrix of 0 dot. So let's take a look what is the requirement of the question. But before that, I would like to drink water. So let me fill it. So in this particular case, we are supposed to rotate the matrix. How we are supposed to rotate the matrix? We are supposed to rotate the matrix by 90 degree. So in this particular case, we have 1, 2, 3. The matrix is in the form of 1, 2, 3. In column, we have 1, 4, 7. So we can observe one thing very clearly, that this particular row and this particular column is absolutely same. This particular row and this particular column is absolutely same, and this particular row and this particular column is absolutely same. So this particular row and this particular column same, this particular row, this particular column same, this particular row, this particular column same. So this gives us the idea of what, of finding a transpose of the same. So how we can find the transpose? We can swap.